Welcome to news for Wednesday, April 16th, 2014. I'm Jimmy Prince for the details. Deputy Director of the SVG Community College, Nigel Scott, says it is high time for an appraisal system for teachers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Scott made the call for the appraisal system while speaking at the 18th Biennial Convention of the SVG Teachers Union held at Georgetown Secondary School today. He said given the pivotal role that teachers hold in fostering student achievement, they must be held accountable through their work.
Teachers, and I'm including myself, we need to be held accountable. Our role is too critical to be left to chance and a closed-door approach. We need to be able to identify early in the process which teachers need more support, more counseling, and more help. And we also need to be able to identify those teachers that we need to say goodbye to. Let's face it, we all know teachers who we would not want teaching our own children. So why do we have them teaching the nation's children?
In the well-received address, Scott also outlined the need to get rid of teachers that refuse to be helped. He highlighted that in some instances, students are left up to their own accord.
We need to devise exit strategies for our underperforming teachers who refuse to be helped. I'm not talking about a teacher who needs the encouragement, who needs the support, and who is willing to use it when they get it. I am talking about the teachers, and we heard a while ago from the president, who don't show up to school on time consistently. We heard from the senior education officer the feeble excuses. Teachers who are in the classroom day in and day out telling the students, read a book. Silent reading while they're on the Blackberries.
Meanwhile, the Community College Deputy Director says while there is need for appraisals, any attempt at the process must not be done with the intent of pulling down teachers. Referring to the Ministry of Education, Scott said in some instances the ministry can be too interfering and calls for a collaborative approach between the ministry and the schools.
Sometimes they can be. Sometimes principals and teachers who best know their students and their circumstances may be in the best positions to make the best decisions for their children. Sometimes there must be a collaborative approach. We cannot have a heavy-handed approach.
In other news, Public Relations Officer at the Central Water and Sewage Authority, Joan Ryan, told SVG-TV News dealing with littering in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is quite a challenge. Ryan noted that education and awareness can go so far, but unless persons are taken to court and the penalties brought against them, that's for littering, the problem will continue.
Person seems to respect the big stick. They respect the law, obviously, more than they listen to the messages that go out from the CWSA, that go out from tourism, that go out from the forestry department and other agencies. And I know that even though the CWSA, through the public relations department, go into schools to talk to students, I know the teachers in the schools also do an excellent job of educating students about the dangers of littering and dumping. So it's not for lack of education and awareness in our country, but rather persons unwilling to change attitude and habits and practices that they have had for years.
She said it was time that the authorities got tough on dealing with littering across the country.
We perhaps have done as much as we can do, and it is really up to the police to take it from here on.
Meantime, another concern for the CWSA is the throwing of garbage in rivers. The CWSA's Public Relations Officer says it is important that persons desist from such practice.
At time during this period, during the dry spell, this is when you realize how littered and how heavily persons are dumping in our rivers and in our streams, in our gutters, over bank sides. During the dry spell, all the grass is dried up and the water has dried down somewhat, and then you see all the garbage in our rivers and in our streams. We are killing our country. We need to be responsible. We need to stop dumping garbage in these areas.
Farms extensively damaged by the passage of the December 2013 flash floods continue to receive assistance in an effort to return to normal production. Costing some $320,000, the FAO has developed a relief project dubbed Emergency Assistance for the Recovery of Vulnerable Farmers Affected by the December 2013 Rains and Winds. This will see a number of small-scale farmers with no apparent means of capacity to restore production on their farms receiving assistance. And on Tuesday, April 15th, a group of 16 poultry farmers were presented with batches of broiler chicks from the Ministry of Agriculture through the Animal Health and the Production Division. The farmers were presented with a total of 1,100 chicks along with 57 sacks of broiler starter feeds. Chief Vet Officer Dr. Katyan Haksha states that during the 6 to 7 week production cycle, the farmers will be assisted with broiler, grower and finisher until the birds are ready for the market. She adds that the farmers will be monitored and provided with the necessary technical assistance from the ministry to ensure the process is successful. Following December 24th floods, the livestock sector is said to have sustained damage to some 2,000 farm units to the tune of $700,000. The performance of the General Employees Cooperative Credit Union, GECU, over its 50-year span is said to have been guided by strong, even-handed leadership with partnership. That's according to past president of GECU, Reggie Batiste, who delivered his second lecture for the credit union last evening as part of its 50th anniversary celebrations. Speaking on the topic, the role of credit unions in national development, women stalwarts of GECU, Batiste told the members they must celebrate their own and to give honor and the tributes where they are due.
The future is in front of us, but we have to not allow ourselves to swirl too much in the air. The timetable has to be sound. The plan, the strategy, the program, the implementation, the execution and the delivery. That is what has guided GECU over 50 years. This must remain our priority and understood as living economics.
Ms. Batiste noted that if advice is given is followed, it will help to increase the financial stability and the sustainability of not only GECU but the entire cooperative sector.
Continue to improve our profitability and our financial viability, bearing in mind that I'm sure there will be other CLECOs and BICOs. We have to promote compliance, and very shortly I'm sure you would have heard about FATCA, which adds another additional burden, some more risk to manage because we have a very large diaspora and part of our economic base is the remittances from abroad. Part of it also is from persons from abroad who will send them money to build their homes. So they might send $10,000, $3,000 US of nearly 10,000. So that comes into the credit union. It looks like somebody doing money laundering. So you now have to fill out this form, the U.S. tax form. They have to fill out a form to say what they send it to Simmons to do. You have to fill out a form to send back to say how you received the money and what you did with it. And that is, they want to catch U.S. tax people running through the loop.
Batiste also encouraged the management of GECU to continue building partnership and alliances internally and regionally, given that its regional partnerships have paid off with some dividends.
We have to promote opportunities for the credit union and services to continue, but we must remain faithful to our credit union principles. You see, these strategic goals will continue to be relevant for us. But we also have to pay attention to this relevancy, that we are small, we have an open economy, we are vulnerable to everything under the sun, from climate change issues to deforestation, coastal degradation, you name it. It's right there. We're an island.
Well, a meeting with the police today ended with nothing being accomplished for members of the National Omnibus Association. That's according to their president. The meeting at the Adamsbury Playing Field was held to discuss several issues raised by the association, but the key matter being a written permission now required from the police for the playing of music in motor vehicles. Head of the Traffic Branch, ASP Kenneth John, told the members of the Omnibus Association who showed up for the meeting that they must follow the law and that the music in their vans should be for the driver and his passengers and not for the listening public.
If while you're outside and you have any encounter with the police and you're not satisfied, feel free to come and see me at the traffic. Okay? But remember, the officer have a job to do, and the whole intention is to make the road safe for you, the passengers and children and the traveling public. And there's law and order, and the law and order have to maintain. So I am asking you all, comply with the law, and you have nothing to worry about.
At the same time, like you said, we're asking you to speak to your officers and ask them not to willfully or have any bad intentions to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Use your own discretion.
I don't believe my officers will come out and willful deal with somebody on vexation or spite and things like that.
Over 100 tickets have reportedly been issued to persons playing loud music in their motor vehicles since the move by the police to enforce Section 31 of the Motor Vehicle and the Road Regulations of the revised edition of the Laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines 2009. Meanwhile, President of the Omnibus Association, Anthony Bacchus, told SVG-TV News that the meeting with the police today did not go as well as he had hoped because none of their concerns was addressed.
So what we requested from the traffic department is try to put a quick bus stop by CIBC there where there's a no parking zone for the elderly people. But again, we get no assistance. You know, everything we request is, we get no help. You know, is no understanding, no compassion, no accommodation for the van drivers. Also, we try to get a express route during the peak hours because a lot of people get stranded late at night at bus stops. So because if the vans could go out and come back quickly, the passengers will be able to get home much faster. But again, the officers, superintendent, he don't want to make no adjustments or try to accommodate at all. So the van drivers are left in a state of they're kind of upset and they want to take action.
Bacchus said the disunity among members of the Omnibus Association and other omnibus operators is not helping their cause and has reached the point of just giving up.
It's like fighting a losing battle, you know. It's a waste of time, you know. It took me a long time to really realize that. So I'm not even gonna put no emphasis out, you know, to tell you the truth. I got a family and I'm seriously thinking about just writing the commissioner a letter, the Minister of Transport, superintendent, and resign, man, and leave them alone. You know, let them face it, let them feel it, you know, because there only is a handful of guys out here that come forward and the rest of them out there. So if you strike, you can get the same people that came here striking and the rest working. A waste of time, no unity.
This country's prison population now stands at 455. This was disclosed by Acting Superintendent of Prisons, Brian Andrews, at a closing ceremony for the second session of the 2013 Criminal Assizes at the High Court in Kingstown. Of the total number, 146 males were sentenced by the High Court, 209 males and 5 females by the Magistrates Court. 66 non-nationals after serving sentences, 4 awaiting preliminary investigation and 2 awaiting trial. There is only 1 inmate on death row, Patrick Lovelace, who was convicted for the murder of Lakeisha Nanton. The telecommunications service provider Lime stayed true to its promise in being the first to bring 4G service to its customers in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At the Bookament Bay Resort, well-wishers and supporters were on hand to witness the official launch of the 4th mobile telecommunication technology. Zuleika Lewis was there and she filed this report.
For months, the talk of having better mobile internet service, faster downloads and uploads have been a hot topic for persons, especially the technological savvy. Now, telecommunication service provider Lime secured its bragging rights of being the first to bring 4G to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At the official launch, Minister of Telecommunications Camille Gonsalves noted that he was pleased that the company stayed true to its promise of affording Vincentians the opportunity to use 4G.
The smartphones that we have have been crippled. There have been smartphones that have had lobotomies, and they've been lobotomized by the fact that the networks we were operating on were not capable of handling all the features of a smartphone. These smartphones have web browsers, they have emails, they have a bunch of apps that are designed to access the internet and connect the user to the outside world, and to do things that you just can't do on an edge network. So your smartphone was really a brick, because it couldn't do all that you expected it to do and all that the manufacturer until now.
Lime's General Manager Leslie Jack outlined some features of the 4G network.
4G was first launched in 2006 in South Korea via the WiMAX technology. In 2009, the 4G technology was launched in Sweden for the first time via the LTE technology. Here in Vincent and the Grenadines in 2014, Lime will bring to you the 4G technology via HSPA Plus and LTE. But let's not get carried away with the technology. What is important for you and for me is what can 4G do for you.
Welcome to the 4th generation of mobile technology. Imagine technology that's smart, fast. Imagine 4G. The 4G network will give you data speeds that will fast-track your life. Uploads, downloads will take seconds instead of minutes. Forget buffering. Video conferencing can take place from the beach. File sharing between people and devices will take place in the blink of an eye. Smart. Fast. Imagine 4G.
In a one-on-one interview with SVG-TV News, Jack outlined that the journey to 4G was challenging. However, like all things Lime, the company sought the best results.
It has been a challenging journey, but exciting nonetheless. That's one of the things with us. We, as much as there might be as many challenges out there, we do see we love the end result, and that excites us at the end of the day, and you know that motivates us to do a hell of a lot more. And again, it's really not finished. This for me is the beginning of a whole lot of things, not just for Lime, but I think it's more or less for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The technology that is being delivered it would be a huge benefit, whether you're a student, whether you work, whether you're just looking to utilize the service for social activities altogether, family and friends. You know, it allows you to stay connected 24/7, unlike the service that existed in the past.
4G refers to the 4th generation of mobile technology. It succeeds the 2G and the 3G families of standards and includes wide-range technologies. Lime's initial deployment of 4G wireless is based on HSPA Plus, Evolved High-Speed Package Access. For SVG-TV News, I am Zulika Lewis.
In addition, a community college student has created an app that has successfully gained the partnership of telecommunications provider Lime. Seamus Hines revealed his new app at the launch of Lime's 4G last night at the Bookament Bay Resort. He explained that the app seeks to keep customers in the know about what's happening at businesses in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
An extremely social application that shows you all the deals and promotions in St. Vincent. You can connect to businesses, you can follow them like you would follow an account on Twitter, and through this you will always be in the know what is going on right now for this company. So you never miss a deal, you never have a moment where you come in town, see something and be like, I should have walked with this amount of money. So you'll always know. As soon as you wake up, you know what's going on.
Currently pursuing an associate degree at the SVG Community College in Information Technology, Hines said he is hopeful that the app can go beyond their local reach.
The user, you'll be able to go on Google Play or Store, and you'll be able to download it free of charge. So because of this, we hope to get a lot of people onto it, a lot of people excited for it, and I would really encourage business people, business heads to put their deals on there, because that's where the value would come from for the users, and also as a result of that, users would use it more, which would bring more value to the businesses. So I really hope that people gravitate towards it, because you don't get a lot of things like this from St. Vincent, and I'm hoping that they can get to a place where we can even incorporate into the Caribbean region.
Meanwhile, Lime's General Manager Leslie Jack says the winner of the company's best app competition will be announced soon. Earlier this year, the challenge was put out for the best app, with the winner receiving a $2,000 cash prize from Lime. And Jack told SVG-TV News that a winner will be selected from 10 groups of students.
We have 10 apps being submitted so far, and it's around close to 40 persons that have been working on those apps throughout. The deadline has passed, so we're really going through the evaluation stage at this moment. So shortly we will be making some announcements around who that premier app would have, that group or person who would have won that $2,000 US.